All right. Welcome to the Real Money Coach show and podcast. Thank you for being here. And those of you who are regular viewers and watch us each and every week, we do appreciate you. And we invite you to come on into the show. Put in the chat where you are watching from. Kimberly McGuinn, she's first in today, y'all. We got Charles from California is in the house tonight. So let me see who else is out there. I see you guys are there, but you're being shy tonight. Listen, there's no time to be shy. We need people that's going to speak up, speak out, let us know that you're in the house. We're excited about our show tonight. I have one of my co-laborers in ministry, my friend, will be here, Ashton. Ashton, I did not know that you were from Michigan. Man, I knew it was something I liked about you from the very beginning, right? So, Ashton from Michigan. Ashton, put in the chat what part of Michigan you are in. I'll need to know that. Being a Michigander myself, originally from up that way, love to know where you are in Michigan and where else anybody is watching from. I'm excited about a lot of different things, a lot of great things that are happening, that are good, that's happening in my world in terms of, it's a busy time, and we're going into the summer, and it's going to be a great summer. And I have a few. Okay, he's in Saginaw. See, Ashton, I don't want to tell you what we called it when we were growing up. It was Sag Nasty. That's what we call it. All right. But we know I'm from Muskegon over on the west side of the state. But we used to call it Sag Nasty. We used to go to Saginaw. I have so many relatives, Saginaw, Flint, in that area. So good that you are with us tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Let me run down a little bit of the schedule for you. There's a couple things that are going on. First of all, on this coming week, we have Men Building Up Men. Men Building Up Men. It is a Zoom meeting that happens every first Sunday of the month, and I believe it happens at 8 o'clock. We do have some information on that. You'll be seeing a flyer posted on social media. But this month we have another great guy, John Cash, that will be the speaker, the primary speaker. He will be John is one of the founders of a group called Community, and they do a great job. They actually have started a e-gaming sports league in like a number of HBCUs. I don't want to mess it up, but they're doing some phenomenal work. And so John is going to be the primary speaker. I will be also giving a little talk. There we go. I'll be sharing a little bit of talk with you in terms of fatherhood, but that is coming up this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Do want to give a shout out to Janice, the Rainmaker, is on. She says hello to everyone in the chat over there. And so John, like I said, he's done a lot with esports and getting esports gaming leagues and all that kind of stuff started at the HBCUs. He's here in Charlotte. We serve on a group called RIG, Roberts Innovation Group, together. So I think you're really going to enjoy John. He's an entrepreneur, a really, really great guy. Now, this group, I have to say, I think I've been around since almost the beginning. I may not have been on the first meeting, but soon after, I've spoken, Marlon spoken, Dr. Frazier spoken, Dr. Roberts, and just a number of people, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. But it's normally, I mean, I'm talking about anywhere from, sometimes over 100 guys get on this Zoom and we just have a conversation. And it's called Men Building Up Men, to build up our families. So I want to give a shout out to Terrence Oliver, who started that group and is kind of headlining it. Ashton is involved in it. So make sure you tune in for that. The other thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk a little bit about the Power Networking Experience and Expo that will be happening here in Charlotte. Right now, we know that there's about 72% off for tickets to come to that. And that is there. And so that's going to take place July 10th through the 13th. The reason why I want to really bring it up tonight is because there's 72% off until May 31st. And so what happens is if you go to the website, you will see that it is 40% off. And then if you use the discount code, which my discount code is TRMC, right? The Real Money Coach TRMC 2024 gives you an additional 32% off. So you can come and you can see Hakeem Jeffries, who is the Democratic leader in Congress. He will be there. You got Master P is going to be there. Some other folks, Jamal Bryant, Dr. Frazier, of course, Boyce Watkins, Mayor Lyles will be a part of it. And so this is going to be a great, great event. And here's one of the really, really cool things is that when you buy a ticket for an adult, that also includes you to be able to bring a young adult with you, age 18 to 25. So basically, it's a BOGO, right? So you buy one ticket as an adult, and then, or one registration, then that also includes a registration for a young person, young adult, age 18 to 25 can come with you on that same ticket. And so it's going to be a great, great conference. So I may talk a little bit more about that when my co-host comes on with me, and we kind of kick that around a little bit. And then the last announcement that will be quite featured in our call today is going to be the men's conference, Real Men, Real Talk men's conference at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church, which will take place June 7th and 8th. At Mount Carmel, you can see Chris Canny will be there. James Brown, the CBS sportscaster, will also be, having a video presence there. Marlon's going to be speaking. I'll be doing a workshop as well. And so we really want to encourage you men, and those of you who are connected to a man, send them on out. Great Father's Day gift, pre-Father's Day, and we're the weekend before Father's Day. So listen, this is your father. You can come to this and still take your dad out for dinner, brunch, lunch, or whatever you want to do on Sunday, right? So you don't have to choose, right? Well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. You can do them both. Think about it. You can do them both, and that's what we want you to do. Come out and be a part of the conference and celebrate your dad on Father's Day. So listen, that's enough of me acting here. Let me bring on my co-host with the most. You guys know her as Michelle, and she's Michelle Mitchell. Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good, Tony. How you doing?
You got quite a fan for it.
I see that. I see that.
Love it. So tell us what's going on in Kalamazoo.
Oh, we over here trying to keep a little bit warm. It's a little chilly the last few
Really?
days, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. We got Harvey Jones all the way from Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome.
We have Harvey Jones with us tonight. So it's been a little chilly.
It's been a little chilly, but
it's good. We've been hot.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a little warm the last couple of days, but we had a really long spring. It's like, because usually, by March, I mean, we heating it up, air conditioning on, all this, but we've had a pretty good mild spring. A lot of rain. The grass is looking good. Flowers are blooming. Allergies are flying. All that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
So, anything going on with Mitchell Consulting? What's going on with Mitchell Consulting here?
Mitchell Consult. Well, I am preparing for my conference in 2 weeks that I'm speaking at, Scaling New Heights, and I will be speaking on a topic that I haven't spoke about before, but I have experience.
Well, experience, that's the thing.
I know, right? Yes. So it's an accounting conference in Orlando, Florida in 2 weeks. And my topic is boldly step away, courageous delegation strategies for scaling your business. And
Love
I have lived this for the last 4 years.
it.
So
Yes.
I am speaking about my experience on how I've been able to step away from my business and my business still thrive. And
Yep.
my customers have been taken care of, and we are meeting the mission of our of what we do is to help people bridge the gap between their passion and their profit. So
Love it. Love it.
yeah,
And you've been very strategic about it and
I
very
have been.
about it. And I think that's great. And I've been kind of doing that a little myself.
Hmm.
Maybe a little bit more organic. But let me tell you something. I got to shout out Kimberly McGuinn, Adele Ryan, and Evelyn Dent. These ladies are putting it. They're doing some great work with our
Awesome.
customers, and it's just really awesome. I get so many comments back from
Yeah.
clients saying, "Oh, they were wonderful," and when you hear that,
Hmm.
that means a lot.
And guess what? As the leader or the founders of organizations, we think that we have to do it all. But when we allow other people to step into their own zones of genius,
Yep,
we can step more fully into ours. So
absolutely.
that's what I have really learned through this process, to let go.
I want to also welcome brother Joshua Dial is in the house as well. Well, and you're so right, Michelle, that when we allow them to be their genius self and
Mhm.
operate in their genius, and
Right.
part of the issues that we have as entrepreneurs, especially when we start a thing, right? When we
Mhm.
start a
Yeah.
business, is that in the beginning you are the one, right? You're
You
the
are
one
the
that's
one. Yeah.
doing it all,
Yeah.
and it becomes habit, right? So
Yeah.
you have
Mhm.
it, and it almost like you have to at some point said, I can't do it all,
Right.
and you have to understand that there are people out there that can do some things that you've been doing, but they could do it better.
They can do it
They
better.
can take it to
Exactly.
another level. Uh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
when it's all clicking as a team,
Yep.
then it's really dynamic.
Yeah. And it's the one thing that really stunts the growth of a business is when the owner doesn't get out the way so that it can grow.
The owner becomes the bottleneck, right?
The owner becomes the
Becomes the bottleneck.
bottleneck. Absolutely.
Now, what's interesting about as we're having this conversation, it not only applies to our business,
Mhm.
but it applies to our family. It
Exactly.
applies to
Mhm.
church. It
Yeah.
applies to a number of different things in our life. Is that
Yeah.
we have to allow people to be their better selves
Right.
and step back out of the way,
And
right?
step back out the way, and yeah. So that experience, that's what I'll be talking about, but it's all related to what we do every day is bridge the gap. We
Right.
bridge the gap and it impacts your profit. It definitely impacts your profit. So it's still in alignment.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, we got a question, Michelle, from Charles. He says, Michelle, if you have people who feel they can, if you have people who feel they can delegate, have them watch Multiply Your Time. Multiply
Yes.
Your Time.
Multiply your time. Yes.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah.
Is it sounds like Multiply Your Time, maybe a video or something. I'm not familiar with
Um,
it.
it might be a book.
Yeah.
Well, the book that I used for this is called Clockwork by
Okay.
Mike McAllowitz. And I implemented it, started about 4 years ago. And now I'm able to, I'm not in the day to day.
All
Yeah.
right. Charles says it's online. So we will check that out.
Yeah.
Multiply Your Time. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, less time for us to take a little break, a little commercial break. And so that everyone who, and we do want to remind you that if you're not catching this live online right now, it is available as a podcast. You can always go to YouTube and watch the video, or you can get the podcast.
Mhm.
And so, With that, let's take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to have Reverend Reginald Barnes from the Mount Carmel Baptist Church with us, and we're going to talk about this little men's conference we got coming up.
Right. Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities.
Imagine a life where financial wellness isn't just a dream, but your reality. Welcome to a journey where increasing, protecting, and dominating your money becomes the new normal. With the Real Money Coach, embark on a path towards legacy wealth. Your financial future is not just a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. It all begins with your free financial wellness checkup. Join us at the Real Money Coach and discover the steps to secure a legacy of wealth for your family. The keys to true financial freedom are within your grasp. Let's build that future, starting now.
All righty, Michelle, for those who are listening and not watching to the recording or something like that, how do they get a hold of Mitchell Consulting?
Sure. You can go to mitchellconsultingservice.com and actually join us on our roundtable. It's coming up in next week or the week after. We do it monthly. So
that's
it's
on the Wednesday, right?
It's the second Wednesday of the month.
Second Wednesday of the month at 1 o'clock.
At 1 p.m. Eastern.
At 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And of course, if you want to get a hold of the Real Money Coach, you just go to therealmoneycoach.com. There on the website, you're able to see my signature presentation, iPad Your Money. You can order the book. You can get a free financial wellness checkup. You can even find out how much money you're going to owe in taxes when you retire. So we can do something about that now, right? So let's put a strategy in place to get Uncle Sam out of your pocket. All right. Well, Michelle, tonight we have a guest. His name is Reginald Barnes, and we served together at Mount Carmel. You've been to Mount Carmel. Mm-hmm. You know what a wonderful place it is. Spent some time with Pastor K today, actually.
How's he doing?
That's my dude. That's my guy. So
I know Tony talk about him because he want to play golf with him. You know.
Yeah. We played some. They took me out. We played a little golf. And, you know. Yeah. It's all right.
Okay.
We had a good time. I enjoyed being out there. But here, Reginald, Reverend Reggie, he is heading up our men's ministry, and particularly we have a men's conference coming up. And so without any further ado, I do want to bring him on to the stage with us, Reverend Reginald Barnes. Reverend Reg.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We all right. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Doing very well. Thank you.
Good.
Excited to be here.
Welcome.
I'm excited to have you, man, because this is an awesome conference coming up, and I think there's some great things that we can talk about. But before we get into the conference itself, as I was doing my little research, I found out some things about you I didn't know. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and your background.
Okay. Obviously, first of all, I'm a man of God. I'm a minister, and that's my first job. My second job happens to be the North Carolina Education Lottery. I'm actually the director of sales for the state lottery. I've been doing that for about going on 19 years. Pretty cool job. I think I'm sharing happiness for a lot of people and pain for some others, I guess. But I've enjoyed it. It's been good. We've always just made sure that I've always tried to make sure that people know exactly what they're getting into when they start playing the lottery, and the good and the bad.
Right.
I mean, it changes lives both ways, depending on how you receive it. So I've enjoyed it. It's a blessing from God. People don't believe it when I say that. I don't know how much time you got, but I got a little story about that.
Well, come on, because I got a story about lottery myself.
Okay. But just short, I was in the midst of looking for another position, and interviewed 3 or 4 different companies, getting to the final thing, and somebody just called the house and said, "Hey, you interested in this position?" And I said no. I didn't know how that was going to play out with me being a minister. And my focus at that time, because I was in seminary, the whole 9 yards, just trying to head down that path. And then my wife said, "No, wait a minute. You a person that says you pray about everything, and you've been sitting here asking the Lord to send you something, and everybody else turned you down, and He sent this to your door, and you said no." And I said, "You have a point." I said, "Okay." I said, "I don't know why God wants me to be in this space." I said, "But I'm going to see if they, I'll go through the process." And went through the process and was hired for this position in 3 days. So that just tells you how God moves. You don't know why. And, I'm one of those people that believe in doing what God asked me to do. And so He put me there. And then when I got there, I found out why He wanted me there. I was able to minister to people and to help change people's lives biblically, not the lottery piece of it. So it really, when you start thinking second guessing God, you're getting yourself in trouble. So he sent it there, and I've been there ever since, and still doing the same things I probably shouldn't be doing in a state agency, but I'm still praying. So
yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, whenever I think about the state lottery, and those of you who are in North Carolina, they have the commercial was Tuesday. I don't know that got it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I remember. But a lot of people don't know. They don't know that the benefactor of the state lottery is the education system.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that's important. The other piece is marketplace ministry, right? And so often we don't go to places that because of the way it may look,
right?
How it might look, how it may
perception.
Perception.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, God is calling us to that place.
That space, yeah.
And so and Sheila Gothard goes way back with us. She says, absolutely, education funding, right? She's in education.
Yeah.
And so we understand that. One of the things that kind of I think about when you talk about life change, when lottery, and we talk about this a lot in the financial literacy arena as we're teaching about how so many lottery winners, they win that lottery, and then a couple years later, it's all gone. And that's kind of disheartening in some ways. From your perspective, anything you can say about that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I've got a long list of stuff that I tell people about as it relates to this, because it's troubling to me that I see people do that, and even our people come in, and the thing that they don't allow me to do is to tell them what to do with their money or how to do it. We try to put out stuff, literature and things, and if they ask me a question, I'll tell them what they need to do. But the problem that it goes further back than them getting to me where they actually winning money. It goes back to the way we, as a people, how we've kind of taught our children to handle money, or not taught them how to handle money.
Yeah.
You know, I had wonderful parents that did well for themselves, but you know, back then they didn't make any money.
Right.
They just knew that if I made money, just pay my bills.
Right.
As long as I paid my bills,
I
I
was
could
good.
get some credit and I could get some other stuff. So they always pay, you know, you always pay your bills on time, and they try to save a little bit of money as you know they could. Well, you know what I learned is, you know, always pay your bills. But what they
Right.
don't tell you is you can pay your bills and never miss a payment and still have a bad credit score.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't believe that. And so what that does then is it throws you this big loop financially on if you ever have to borrow money. Well, now you're not getting a good interest rate and all that stuff. So that's just a little bit of what. So we got to start. Yeah, we got to start teaching our young men, which is part of the conference, Tony. And why we definitely wanted you there. I put Tony on. Y'all don't know. I put Tony on the program and never asked him.
I found out.
You know, I was moving at 100 miles an hour, and you know, I said, Lord, tell me where we need to be with this thing. And his name came to my spirit. I said, okay, I'm gonna put Tony on here. And I thought somebody was gonna go ask him about it. They never did. I printed flyers and everything, had Tony's name on it.
Tony, you in the program already.
I'm on the program. I'm on the program.
Already in the program, yeah. But that's kind of what we get to with the lottery, is trying to make sure that people understand that you don't have to take all of that at one lump sum. And it's better in most cases that they don't, if they don't have the financial maturity to handle it. Sure. And that's where with these young people that come in and do it. We had one to come in last week in Raleigh, won $1 million, 18 years old. Well, you know as well as I know, in a year or two, that's gonna be gone. Because I can't tell him, young man, at 18, you just need to slow your roll, take the annuity, let it roll it, play itself out until you can, you know, you learn how to handle money. But you know, people come in, they don't have a financial advisor.
Send them to the real money coach. We'll get them
right.
That's my point. That was my next point, Brother Tony. You need to, when you come into that, you need to have a financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have an accountant if they're not the same, an attorney. When you come to get the money, that's what you need to have. And you need to have already decided how much of that you're going to put in investments, how much you're going to put in a trust, and who are you going to be giving money to? Because we'll cut separate checks, and then you never have to even deal with paying the taxes on your portion of it. It goes to them. So just little things that people can't say.
Have a plan before you go get the money.
Before you even pick the check,
have a plan.
I love that.
You plan. You know, and we've had people to do that, to come. I mean, we're waiting on them a month, and they come in. When they walk in, man, it's an entourage. But it's you know, it's those their financial planner, the attorney, accountant. You know,
they got everybody at the table.
They got everybody at the table, and those are the ones that are successful. But again, it goes back to us and how we've taught our young adult people, and it's not a knock on anything that
it's not a knock on us.
It's just we didn't know. You know,
it's reality. Is that
it's reality?
We didn't have 20 years, well, not 20, but 30 years ago, right?
Right.
We didn't have the Michelle Mitchell consulting. We didn't have some of these resources that we have now. And God has been so good and faithful to many people that despite not having all those things, we knew one thing: pay your bills and save, right? And now we get the chance to work with many people and show them how to take that savings and make it more advantageous from a tax standpoint, from a state standpoint, from a retirement standpoint, taxes, all those things together. And so that's a lovely thing. So, but you know, I think it's wonderful that you are in that position. And I did not know that until I looked at your LinkedIn page. I was like, I never knew what you did other than we serve, we preach, we lead worship,
Yeah.
that are important,
Yeah.
in our calling, for
Right.
sure. But I thought it was pretty cool when I saw that on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah. I do enjoy it. It's like, especially when you see someone that comes in that actually needed it.
Yeah.
We've had one lady. I'm gonna share this other one little story with you, and I'll get off of that, because this is one that just shows you how God works. And so we had this one lady came in. She had cancer. She won. Her and her husband came in, and she won Lucky for Life. So she's going to get $25,000 a week for life. Okay.
Wow.
So about a year later, she came back in again. She won $1 million.
Wow.
I said, "What did you do with the other money?" She said, "Nothing." She said, "I went back in and had more cancer surgery and stuff, chemo and all that." And she said, and my bills got to be really big, and I was going to have to start using that money. And then she wins $1 million.
Wow.
That's not the end of it. I said, "You're going to use that to pay for that?" She said, "Yes." She said, "So that makes me comfortable," because her concern was her husband, because they had exhausted all their money pretty much.
Mm.
Pretty much all. She comes back in again, won $2 million.
What?
3 times.
3 times.
Yes, 3 times. Each time she came in, though, Tony, she was giving God praise for allowing her to see it, and then allowing her to win, to make sure her husband was taken care of. I said, "So what are you going to do now?" She said, "I feel like my time is about done." She said, "Me and my husband are going to enjoy ourselves together, and we'll leave this other portion for him."
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So this lady, I mean, and she was just, it was like she was just jumping around, man, in the room, just like she was just giving God praise,
But
man. But see, we didn't film that, right? I would have loved to have filmed that and put that on something, but that's not what we do,
Right.
unfortunately.
But she
I'm
kept
just telling
playing the
you.
lottery, even though she had won.
Right.
She kept playing.
Yep, but she had a system. I mean, her thing, she would only buy 1 ticket a month.
What?
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
See,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
But you got to be in the game in order to win.
You got to be in the
game to win.
You got to be in the game to win.
So
she was in the game and she had favor.
And she had favor, right?
But you can't have favor if you're not in the game, right?
That's right.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Right. So if you want to be blessed, you said, "Lord, bless me with a business," but you don't ever open a business.
Right.
Yeah, right. So you in it.
You in it, right?
And
you I'm thinking about the talents, right?
The talents, yeah.
You have to be in it, right? You got to be willing to. Faith without works is dead, right? So you can have all the faith in the world that you're gonna have $1 million business, but if you don't ever open your door,
right? Or you don't want to talk to nobody.
You want to say that you want generational wealth, but you don't have life insurance.
Right.
You say you want to retire well, but you ain't putting no money away.
Right.
All those things are part of
those things. Yeah.
I want, and then we're gonna jump off this, but this is so interesting to me.
Yes.
Because I want to know from your standpoint, someone who's been in this industry for 19 years, North Carolina just opened up to sports gambling.
Yeah.
What's your view on that? I know I have my view. It's probably a little, it's tainted, right?
Right.
Given, but what's your view on that?
My politically correct view is I have no view.
Okay, gotcha.
I've been, you know, I'm because I actually, it's a separate division of what I do. So
Mhm.
what they did was when they brought in sports betting, it's actually it's under the North Carolina uh,
Like the casino.
gambling commission.
Gotcha,
The
gotcha.
game.
And we're actually the lottery. Now, all of us are falling up under that since they made this whole new deal. But I've had very little contact or conversation. I mean, I see things because I'm in the building. But I've been told that that's not my business.
Mhm.
My business is the education lottery. So I stay away from it,
That's fair
Tony,
enough.
respectfully. Because I got about 2 more years and I want to retire.
I got you. I got you. You know, I'm not trying to get an early dismissal. Just
Right.
I get you. I get it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair enough.
But
That's
one thing I did want to share with you, Tony, that I appreciate what you all do is in going back to the young people and making sure they understand the importance of starting a savings, investing in something. And I didn't realize people don't know. You don't know because nobody's going to tell you. You
Mhm.
know, if you're not around that type of environment. You know, I grew up a old country boy. You know, raising pigs and chickens and everything else. You know, and you know, by the time that I got in college and started figuring things out, well, I didn't realize that you know I can invest any amount of money, or you know, what I'm saying I know savings, but you know, most people and most of these young people don't understand. You know, if you got an extra $1,000, you can do something with it.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, even lower than that, it just takes a start. And so maybe you can't buy a $10,000 CD or whatever you wanted to do at that point. But guess what? If you got 1,000, you can get $1,000 one.
Right.
And
Mhm.
then when that starts, go get another. But people just didn't. And it, believe it or not, it took me a while to realize that I could. I mean, I'm that guy that didn't realize that because I was never in that environment.
Mhm.
Well, we don't know what we don't know.
That's
Right.
true.
We know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And I love to say it like this. You don't have to be great to start, but you got to
Mhm.
start to be great.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
so I do love that, which is a great segue into the men's conference, real men, real talk,
No problem.
right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the conference, what the vision of the conference is, and then we can get into some of the details on it.
Okay. So back about 9 months ago, actually, we started talking about this conference, and I don't know why it came about. We had planned a retreat at one point at the church, and then we decided, and it didn't work out for whatever the reason. We had to cancel it. I think everybody that was speaking ended up having to be out of town. So then it just came to us. You know, I started praying about things, and you know, I listened. Like I said, I try to listen what the Lord's trying to tell me, and it came into my spirit that we need to do a men's conference. Well, we started talking about it. Everybody was interested in it, so that's how it started out. Uh, had no vision of how large it was gonna get to be for us, and what you know, because the ones we've had in the past have been you know just the guys in the church. Well, this is a community wide men's conference. We want everybody to come. I've sent packets out to probably 50 or 60 churches, inviting them to this conference because what we've uh, found is our men are really suffering from a lot of things that we don't want to talk about. Uh, that's not making us whole. And the whole point of this conference is real talk. You know, we want to talk. You're a real man. Talk to me. Tell me exactly what is going on, what God is looking for from me as a man, how you can be whole in Christ. Uh, that comes to financial security, handling your money, handling stuff with your family. I mean, we got several breakout sessions, Tony. Uh, obviously, uh, you're on one of the main ones.
I found that out.
The session that you're doing is being a good steward of money, time, and talents. And people don't realize, your money, yeah, good, but you got some time, and we're talking about giving time to God, and in worship and meditation, and using your talents for uplifting of His kingdom. That's what it's really all about for us. And then we got a role of a godly man. We got Pastor McCullough coming in from Gastonia to do that. We got our very own Pastor Casey Kimbrough that's dealing with mental health and that type of thing. And then we got Brother Marlon coming in that's going to be dealing with those kids. Break up, break out, break through. So one of our big focuses is what I'll talk to a little bit here is youth and young adult men.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're losing them to the world stuff, and we just want to reel them back in and show them what a godly man looks like, how a man acts, how he's supposed to treat his family, his wife, women, in which we got a session on that too, male-female relationship, a biblical perspective. So we're trying to think of everything that can touch men and help them to grow. And closing out with Reverend Bowie from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Men pursuing God equals men pursuing excellence. And that's what we kind of want to leave the guys with is, if you get in there and you start giving God His due, you're going to win. Mm-hmm. You can't lose. You can't lose. My mom used to say this thing all the time, and you probably even heard me say it when I was preaching, Brother Tony, is you cannot beat God given.
You can't.
I don't care how hard you try.
Right.
Whether that's giving your time, your tithe, whatever it is, you cannot beat Him given, man. And so that's what we want to stress too with this men's conference is get involved as a man. We've been making this joke as this conference has been unwinding, and we say, well, men wait to the last minute to pay and to sign up. It's true.
Come on, y'all. Sign up. go to mcbaptist.org event. Register today. Register today. And we'll bring that flyer back up. And so if you go to mcbaptist.org events, you can find it there. One of the things that really is I talk about, I have my good friend Michelle. Michelle, for those of you who may be listening or watching for the first time, Michelle and my wife are besties. They best friends, college roommates. We've done Mitchell's all forever. One thing that I know about ladies is they talk to each other.
Right.
And us men, we tend not to have those conversations with each other. Our conversations end up being more superficial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who won the game? Did you see how many points they scored? Did you? I mean, we're on that. The weather, my yard, right? How your yard, your car,
right? Right.
Yeah, that's a beautiful Corvette, But we don't get to where we're talking real about our feelings and how we're feeling, right? And another thing we don't talk about is money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We don't talk about money with each other.
Right.
And I'm gonna say it too. The other thing we don't talk about with each other is sex, right?
Right.
Talk about those things that really we need to be having conversations about, right? And so that's what I love about the Real Men, Real Talk theme is let's get together and have a conversation.
Absolutely.
It all begins with a conversation. And if I can let my guard down, and I remember, preaching a sermon one time about Lazarus when he came out of the tomb, and Jesus told them to take the death cloth off him, take the death clothes. And so what happens? Take the mask off. And so what happens is we're so busy with putting on a mask with each other that really we cause our own death.
Mm.
But when we can release it, right? And Jesus as the foundation is the center point. So if we have that in common right now, then I can take off the mask with Reggie and say,
Right.
this is what's happening. This is
Yeah.
what I'm struggling with. And the Bible says for us to confess our sins one to another in order that we might be healed. And so I'm looking forward to the conference. I'm looking forward to just really, just not only sharing, but to be part of the group and to be part of the conversations outside of what I'm doing, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
because I was coming, but I didn't know I was going to be a part of it. I knew I was coming, right? So, but I think it's pretty awesome, and I really do encourage people to to just open up and be a part of it. And I love your lineup. But tell us a little bit. We got a couple kind of celebrity guests that are going to be part of the conference as well.
Oh yeah, man. We've got Chris Canty, which a lot of guys that are into sports will know him. He's the ESPN. He has a talk show on every morning with Canty, and great guy. I watch him. I was watching him a lot anyway. And when we were able to get him as a speaker, man, it just made my day because one, he's from the area. He grew up here in Charlotte and played football here, and then went on to Dallas. I think he won his Super Bowl ring. So he's. I'm excited about having him and in conversation with him through Tony. He says he's a pastor's kid, so we can ask him pretty much anything. So he knows what the Bible is.
What I found out today too, what was interesting is Terrence Oliver about the men's group that we meet the first. It's a great group. You ought to join us. We meet the first Sunday of each month. Terrence Oliver, who started that group, is good friends with him.
Okay.
Yeah, they work together in some media outlets and stuff like that. So I found that out today. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so he's we're excited about him coming, and we had reached out to Mr. Brown, James Brown, also, and he was going to do it, but he had a conflict with his scheduling, so he was gracious enough that he's doing a video presentation for us. He did it in the CBS studios, and also it's going to be really cool to see him and what he has to say as it relates to Real Talk, Real Men. So we've got it's a lot, man. It's just a lot of things that we've got planned and a lot of discussion that we want to get into with this, because I've always just believed that, if we don't talk to each other, how can we help each other? If we don't share our ups and downs, how do you know how are you going to help somebody else to get through theirs? And I've just always been that person to try to do that. I'm pretty much an open book. You ask me about it, I'll tell you. Because I feel like if the Lord blessed me to come out of it, it's so I can help you to get out of it. So,
right.
And I think that's what I hope that this conference will do. Allow men to feel comfortable enough to open up and talk about what's going on, ask the questions that they really want the answers to. And hopefully we can do that for them.
Well, awesome. Well, man, I thank you for coming on, sharing about the conference, and the time goes by so fast. So what happened, Reggie? I'm a typical Baptist preacher, right? So
yeah.
About 6 months ago, I said we're gonna start keeping our shows to 30 minutes.
How long that lasts?
It lasts long. It's kind of like I'm about to close, right? And we just keep on going. But it's just been great information and having wonderful guests. And what I love about it is that it becomes pretty organic. We don't pre-plan it out. And
yeah.
So, because had no idea we'd talk about lottery like we did and all those type of things. But it's just interesting. And I think people who watch our show love that, you know,
Right.
authentic. And so we're able to share, and people are just open and looking to share and mentor others. So
yeah. Just sad. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
good. Michelle, any last thoughts, comments you have before we bid our viewing audience good night?
You know, I just wish the men's conference well, because men
Thank you.
do need to connect more, and you need to build trust with each other like women do. Women build that trust. That's why we can share our hearts with each other, because we've built that trust. And if you have, you know, transactional relationships, you don't get the transformational relationships. So
Right.
I hope you guys go deep and
We are
vulnerable,
Yeah.
and that you are blessed, and that you bless other men, because we need it. We need it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sign up.
Yeah. Sign up.
Hey, well, listen, I didn't wait till the last minute to register. I've already registered, so y'all go ahead and register. For those ladies who may be watching us tonight, encourage your significant other to register. Come be a part of
Your
the
sons,
your
Yeah.
sons,
right? Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And I do believe there's a certain age where the young men are free.
Yes. We're doing it from 13 up, and 16 to 13-year-olds are free.
We got
So
13
you
and
know,
up.
you're not turning down anybody. So if you got look, if you want to come, you got a 13, you got a 10-year-old, he can come. You know, we just, you know, the programming may be a little, but we'll figure it out. We'll work it out. We don't want anybody that's, you know. And I want to share one last thing with you about the women. From what we've seen in signups, half of the people that are paid have been women for the conference, for sons and husbands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Tells you how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think that's pretty awesome. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to really sharing some money things from a biblical standpoint, and you know, and you know, rising tide raises all ships.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to doing that and being a part of the solution. Not always talking about the problem, but being part of the solution.
Right. Absolutely.
So listen, everybody, thank you for joining. I do want to remind you once again on this Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. This Sunday night will be Men Building Up Men. I will post that flyer in our private Facebook group as well as on all my social media. And I do want to remind you, if you are not following us on YouTube, make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram. We have a private Facebook group. We even have a little TikTok out there. Everything's The Real Money Coach. And so thank you all for joining us tonight, and have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place. God bless you.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Have a good night.
Thank you.